Good morning, and welcome to the Emerson Unitarian Universalist congregation. It is so good to be together with you here, in person and online. My name is Isabel Tice, and I am one of today's worship assistants. I am also a ninth grader at Pope High School and part of the senior high youth class. If you're joining us for the first time this morning, welcome. As Unitarian Universalists, we're a people of diverse beliefs, but we share a common faith. That every person is worthy of love, that what we do in this world matters, that we are connected to one another and to the earth. Whoever you are, wherever you are on your journey, you are welcome here. Now we pause to light our chalice as a symbol of our shared Unitarian Universalist faith. Thank you, Tamsin Scow, for lighting our chalice. Our chalice lighting words are, "We light this chalice to affirm the worth and dignity in every person and to kindle compassion in our hearts." In the spirit of love in the beloved community, let's share in our congregational affirmation. We need not think alike to love alike. Let's greet and welcome each other to this new day. Those in the sanctuary, feel free to move around to offer greetings, and for those online, please use the chat to introduce yourself. Our opening words this morning are, "We come together today to remember a simple, powerful truth. Every person carries inherent worth and dignity. In this space, we honor that truth in one another and in ourselves." Please rise and body your voice as we join together in song with hymn number 188, "Come, Come, Whoever You Are."
Thank you so much. Good morning, everybody. My name is Bruce King. I'm music coordinator here. I would love to say I had something to do with that invocation, but that was amazing, Emerson and Lauren. Thank you. Usually, as a music coordinator, you don't like to be surprised in the morning, but I was thrilled to see 2 trombones. So, this morning we're going to sing a hymn called "Come, Come, Whoever You Are" in a round, and I am so happy to see so many people. Our round is going to sound good. All right, so we're all going to sing it together once through. Then we're going to break into our round. Once you start your round, you will sing it twice. And when you finish your round, you just finish repeating the last line, "Come yet again, come." And you just repeat it until I tell you to stop. All right? We have helpers. So everybody on this side, let me see a raise of hands for number 1s, number 2s, number 3s. Don't forget your numbers. We have our helpers here to help each group. And we have Peter on guitar. Hit it. Give us a little. You ready? It helps if you move. Here we go. Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving. Ours is no caravan of despair. Come, yea, despair. Come, yea, come, yea, come, yet again, come. One more time. Come, yet again, come. Beautiful.
Now we pause to reflect on matters of the heart. Thank you, Isabel, for placing the stones today. For this morning's ritual, we have water and we have river stones. The stones are smooth and the stones have weight. They are indicative of both life's pleasures and times of ease, as well as life's burdens and times of heaviness. The water receives these stones with ease and calmness. Each week, you are invited to write a joy, sorrow, or concern in this book or email it to pastoralcare@emersonuu.org to be read. If you're online, we invite you to recreate this ritual at home. You place a stone in a bowl of water to honor what is in your heart. We first begin by placing 3 stones in honor of the Cherokee and Muskogee nations of indigenous people who lived here before us, for those wrongly enslaved here and who labored on this land, and for those hurting in current conflicts and wars that rage across our globe. Within our community, we share that, from Reverend Christina, the world said goodbye to Pope Francis of the Catholic Church this week. While the theologies differ from us, let us honor his legacy of compassion and the call to uphold human dignity. His words remind us, there can be no peace without freedom of religion, freedom of thought, freedom of expression, and respect for the views of others. May we carry that vision forward in our communities, our faith, and our work of peace. From Elizabeth Thomas, congratulations to Mark Cobb for being the Addison Elementary School Volunteer of the Year. Woo! From Bellamy Bodiford, doctors found a tumor on my right kidney, which I will have a surgery to remove in the next few weeks. Thoughts and good vibes are appreciated. From Karen Pichette, as some of you know, my husband Mike was recently diagnosed with T3 mucosal melanoma. He underwent surgery on Monday to remove a tumor from his sinus, and they found a second tumor. Surgery was more extensive than planned, but we are hopeful they got it all. Mike is at home healing. As we await results and discussion with his doctor, I ask you to send all the healing thoughts and positive energy you can. Thank you. And from Sally Riddle, more of a public service announcement, but also out of concern for our local government. If you live in the Cobb County, Commission Districts 2 or 4, and have not voted yet, please vote this Tuesday. In thankful awareness, let us say the Buddhist prayer of loving kindness. Please read the words with me. May we all be filled with loving kindness. May we all be free from harm and suffering. May we all be well in body, heart, and mind. May we all be at peace. Blessed be.
One way we put our prayer of loving kindness into action is by partnering with other organizations who work to bring love, kindness, and justice to the world. During Earth Month, or April, we are supporting the Etowah River Alliance. Hello, my name is Rebecca Carlson. I'm a member of the Social Justice Committee. I think we all agree that clean drinking water is essential for good health. Well, so does our guest today, Lane Wood. Lane has traveled all over Georgia while working for 20 years as a senior business and advertising sales rep for Georgia Magazine. She received her certification as a master naturalist in 2022. Lane Wood has served on the board of directors of the Upper Etowah River Alliance since 2013 and has been their executive director since 2021. She is passionate about all forms of nature and protecting our water supply for future generations. Please welcome Lane Wood.
Good morning, and thank you all for having me. What she neglected to say is I am barely housebroken. There are worms in my pockets and crickets in my hair and twigs in my clothes, and I painted my toenails so you couldn't see the dirt under them. I couldn't get out. That is an unusual thing for me because, again, I'm barely housebroken. First and foremost, I want to thank you so very much for electing the Upper Etowah River Alliance as your Share the Basket gift recipient this month. It could not come at a better time. I don't have to tell you about the environmental rollbacks. They have affected us. They will affect us going forward. It is my job. We're not officially river keepers, but the Coosa River Basin is the river keeper of record, and we are half of the Coosa River Basin. If you don't know how that works, the Oostenaula comes down like this and becomes, the Conasauga, the Oostenaula, and then the Etowah, and they make this huge Y, and in downtown Rome is the confluence, and that becomes the Coosa. So the mighty Coosa is how it's referred to. If you live in Cobb County, you're not drinking Chattahoochee River water. Surprise, surprise, surprise. You're drinking Etowah River water. It's pulled from the Etowah in downtown Canton, right at the 575 bridge. There's an intake hose channel tube there that runs up to the Hickory Log Reservoir. And that's the Cobb Municipal Authority water in conjunction with the city of Canton. And Hickory Log Reservoir is open to the public. There's a nominal fee. It is a beautiful place to hang out. If you have a kayak or canoe, please go and hang out on Hickory Log. There are no motorized vessels on it. You're drinking that water. My job is to make sure your water's clean. We monitor it. We have 100 sites from Lumpkin County, Dahlonega, the headwaters above Camp Merrill, all the way to Lake Allatoona. So that's the Upper Etowah. And one more thing I'll say about it, I know I only have a couple minutes. You just smack me when you want me to shut up, but because I can talk. I can talk a lot. I was an ad rep. 30 seconds? Okay. All right, the Upper Etowah is one of the most biodiverse rivers in the nation. There are 27 indigenous species in the Columbia watershed, big one, Pacific Northwest. There are 25 in the Colorado. There are 77 in the Etowah. It's worth saving. My job is to raise the money, to buy the chemicals, to monitor the water, to make sure there's no bad things in the water. And that's what I do. It's my job to raise the money. And afterwards, I'll be available for Q&A. I have handouts, and I can tell you some great stories about the Etowah. Just let me know. And again, thank you so very much. We need the money now more than ever.
Thank you. The basket will now be passed for those in the sanctuary. As the basket is passed, please feel free to offer a donation or see a card in the basket for other ways to give. For those online, go to emersonuu.org and select the Giving tab to donate. All donations, unless otherwise specified, are shared equally between Emerson and our partner organization.
Our story today is That Flag.
Oh, you gotta put it in. You have to put it in there.
Yeah. Our story today is called That Flag by Tamika Fryer Brown and illustrated by Nicholas Smith.
Bianca and I are almost twins. We're the same in so many ways.
We both wear our hair in braids. We spend independent reading time together.
We play Foursquare better than anyone in our class. We're inseparable. She's my best friend.
But only at school. I'm not allowed to go to her house, even though we live on the same street. Kira, Mom says, whenever I go outside, please stay where I can see you. Then she shoots a look that means don't go anywhere near their yard. I know why. It's because of that flag.
Mom and Dad say it's a hate flag, a symbol of violence and oppression. Bianca's parents told her it's a heritage flag, a celebration of courage and pride. What I know is I can't go to any parties or sleepovers at her house, and I can't invite her to mine.
At bedtime, before my parents tuck me in, I remember my field trip form. It's for the Southern Legacy Museum, Dad says. They have a new exhibit. Mind if I tag along? I don't. Dad is a lot of fun. He even buys me souvenirs sometimes. Sure, I say.
Mom and Dad hug me tight for an extra long time.
On field trip day, once we're off the bus, Bianca and I link hands. We wait for our teacher to call our names. Oh no, she's assigned us to different groups.
When I start to frown, Dad tugs my braids, makes a face, and smiles. I can't help but smile back. I'm glad Dad's here with me.
After walking around for a while, we see a red, white, and blue sign, stars and bars.
Dad takes my hand. This is something we need to see.
First, we see a frilly dress from antebellum days. I picture myself wearing it and giggle. I'd look pretty silly.
There's a cotton gin with lots of little puffy plants around it. Wish we could pick some off, I say. Dad glances but doesn't say anything.
When we come to an auction block, Dad freezes. He's not smiling at all. Neither am I. In silence, Dad and I walk to a glass case filled with old photographs. I see soda fountains, poodle skirts, gigantic cars with fins, dogs and water hoses, teenagers crying in the streets, scary men in white gowns holding their torches and flags. That flag. Kira, Bianca runs up to me. I've been looking for you everywhere. She throws her arms around my neck, but I don't hug her back. What's wrong, she asks. My throat feels tight. I'm not sure what to say. I just point to the pictures in the case. Then I walk away.
Back on the bus, Dad and I sit up front, behind the driver. I stare out the window, remembering those pictures and that flag, my best friend's flag. Later that night, my family and I talk for a long time. They tell me things they've never told me about before.
About the scary things my grandpa saw when he was just a kid. About grandma being spat at for trying to go to school. About Mom and Dad getting called bad names and chased by people in a truck. About the Freedom Riders.
About Selma, about the Charleston 9. We talk about the things Black people have to do every day to stay safe. After our talk, I feel scared, confused, and mad. But mostly, I'm sad.
At school the next day, I wait for Bianca to say something about the pictures. She talks about her puppy instead.
I guess those pictures didn't bother her. I guess we're not the same. I guess we're not best friends after all.
During reading time, I read by myself. At recess, I jump rope alone.
When our teacher asks what we learned from our field trip, I say, "The Confederate flag is racist." "That's not true," Bianca cries. "It stands for Southern pride." The Confederacy, our teacher says, fought a war to keep Black people enslaved. Their battle flag is still used by hate groups who want white people to rule. No, Bianca shakes her head. Why would my family fly a flag like that? I don't know, our teacher answers, but it's a good question to ask.
I'm trying to beat my grandpa at chess when I hear Grandma cry, "Lord have mercy." Mom turns up the news. It's news none of us wants to hear.
2 black people were shot in their own front yard by 3 white men. They show pictures of the men on TV. They're standing in front of that flag. That hate flag.
My family and I go to the candlelight vigil to honor the couple that was killed. I look in the crowd. I can't believe my eyes. Bianca and her parents are here.
I did not expect her family to come. I wonder why they did.
Coming home, we see a new house flying that flag. It makes my heart hurt, so I look away.
We pass Bianca's house. They've taken theirs down. I can't stop staring. I wonder why they did.
As the late bell rings the next morning at school, Bianca passes me a note. You were right.
I haven't spoken to Bianca for days. No sharing books or playing Foursquare at recess. But now, that flag is gone from her house. So maybe things can be different. Maybe we can be friends after all. I don't know.
But I'm willing to see.
And let's sing our song of dedication.
Hello, my name is Tamsin Scow, and I attend Kell High School, and I'm also a member of the RE program, the senior youth class. And this morning, I'm going to lead you in meditation. Okay. We're going to begin by finding an upright, comfortable position where you can release any tense or tight feelings you may have. Once you have found this position, focus your thoughts onto each individual breath you take. I want you to recognize and be reminded of your best intentions, as well as the intentions of others. Don't force yourself to feel any particular way or change standing opinions. Once you are ready, bring to mind any person or friend that you have a positive opinion of or unambiguous feelings towards. What do you hope for them? Now, there may not be anything you can do for them now, but with an open heart, continue wishing them well. May you be happy. May you be healthy, may you feel safe, and may you live your life with ease. Now shift your awareness to yourself. Think of how you feel about yourself in this moment, how you affect the ever-changing world around you. Often, we judge ourselves differently than the people we most care for. See if you can bring the same care for them to yourself now. May I feel healthy. May I feel happy. May I feel safe. and may I live my life with ease. Not necessarily wishing yourself better, rather wishing yourself the same. Move now to a stranger or neutral person, someone who you see in passing at work, who is in another class at school or checks out your books at the library. Bring them to mind and see if you can offer them the same wishes you did for a friend. Recognize that whomever they are, they have their own struggles and need for ease. So picturing the stranger, wish them the same. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you feel safe. And may you live your life at ease. Now move your mind to a difficult person. It doesn't have to be the most difficult person, but someone challenging. Maybe you don't see eye to eye. Note the wishes you had for someone you hardly knew at all, and see if you can wish the same for this challenging person. You don't have to condone what they have done or agree with all their views. But as you hope for them, recognize that while consensus may not occur, you can still hold compassion for them. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you feel safe. And may you live your life with ease. During this practice, it can be helpful to include yourself. May we both be happy. May we both be healthy. May we both feel safe. And may we both live our lives with ease. I want you to also know it's always okay to come back to your breath or wishes for yourself. To end, let's expand your awareness to all beings, to ourselves, to our friends and family, to strangers, and to difficult people. May all beings everywhere be happy. May all beings everywhere be healthy. May all beings everywhere feel safe, and may all beings everywhere live their lives with ease. When you are ready, you may open your eyes if they were closed, and move through the rest of your day or life with a new perspective, an open mind, and an open heart. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Star. I'm introducing our anthem for the day. On February 14, 2018, Kalulalam, an Israeli social project movement, invited 3,000 people who had never met before to sing in Haifa, Israel, in 3 languages, Arabic, English, and Hebrew. It was a celebration of coexistence. These people came from various religions, Muslim, Christianity, Jewish, and many others, to share the message of peace and tolerance. I hope you can enjoy and accept the message that these amazing humans are delivering.
6 values, but doesn't require members to let go of their own beliefs to be a part of this community. This openness, this radical inclusiveness, as we call it, is rare and part of why I find youism so valuable. I suspect it's a part of what attracted all of y'all as well. But outside of these walls, in other communities where such openness is not a core value, I would argue that members of an organization have a duty to repress facets of their identity that are in disagreement with others' beliefs and curtail emphasizing those facets. I know that's a little bit controversial. I believe individual identity is not more valuable than the group cohesion. Recently, I went to my family's Easter family reunion in Louisiana. While there, I met a branch of the family who lived in Texas. And as the day progressed, we talked, and we realized we didn't hold the same positions on several political issues. They were pro-life. I was pro-choice. They voted for Trump. I had voted for Kamala, etc., etc. We were both pro-Second Amendment. We obviously disagreed on matters close to our hearts, and we couldn't leave this gathering for another 6 hours. So what did we do? We dropped it, and we stopped talking about politics. Expressing my identity, my individual thoughts and opinions, winning, arguing, even having the last word was not worth the divide it would create at that gathering and in the family. Because we both saw the divide and steered the conversation away and focused on what made us alike, because we both compromised, we were both able to coexist in the same space and enjoy the rest of the reunion and our companionship. I feel that we, as liberals, as the left, have gone too far in promoting individuality. We promote that we have a right to our truth, to our pronouns, to our identity, but when will that individuality be enough? Is sacrificing the very ability to coexist with other people in the same room worth whatever validation we gain? Almost any time I encounter identity politics in the wild being discussed by the right, the main gripe is, I just wish they didn't force their values upon us, e.g. be gay, but not over here. And to a point, I agree. It's annoying when someone pushes their religion upon you too, so much so we now have the stereotype of annoying Latter-day Saints and Jehovah's Witnesses. Imagine if every Christian required you to refer to them by their faith. It's just a small amount of effort, but it would be annoying and tiring to remember to call someone Christo instead of him. Guilt-tripping someone over not accepting one's call for validity is rude. They do not warrant our hate. Communication, after all, is always a balance between the people communicating. You have to be willing to meet people halfway. There must be balance, and you must be willing to emphasize what we have in common over what we disagree with. To provide a counterexample, I'll briefly talk about gun politics. I staunchly believe in the public's right to firearms. I staunchly believe and will defend the right of the people to bear arms in any and all capacity. I'm happy to discuss this any day of the week, privately. At church, we may have people whose lives were negatively impacted by gun violence. And while I could happily spend many hours engaged in an intellectual debate over guns, it would not contribute to making those people feel seen and welcome. The idea of this community is that it is open to all people, and it bases its group identity on love and humanity, common traits we all share. So I conscientiously try to steer conversation in those directions. Yes, there are times for debates and intense actions, but conflict will always find us. Spread a little peace, a little common ground. I'd like to see more focus on what brings us together, the common ground we share, from both the left and the right sides of the political spectrum. If you think gender identity, gun violence, or abortion politics will be an issue, maybe don't bring it up. Talk about the weather, talk about sports, talk about anything you can find common ground on, and give them a little peace. And keep trying, because if at first you don't succeed, try again. Everyone shares something in common. We're all human after all.
I was just up here, so hopefully y'all remember my name, but if you don't, I'm Star. Albert Einstein once said, "You can't judge a fish by its ability to climb up a tree." This quote has been very important to me in the way I have grown up. I was diagnosed with 3 learning disabilities when I was 7, and I constantly felt like I was defective. I felt like I would never succeed in the real world. This quote taught me that success isn't always about how a person performs on a test, but also about how the test is designed and evaluated. When I shifted my perspective to ask, did I try my best? It naturally led to the next question. What resources or support was I given to succeed? Both questions are equally important. The first reflects my effort and determination, while the second examines whether I was provided with the compassion and resources necessary to demonstrate my best work. I believe that we should start bringing these questions to our relationships, but as a way to self-reflect. When I mess up, I normally try to figure out what I could have done better so I can grow. But I also try to understand where the other person is coming from. Looking to try and understand people before trying to be understood is so important. And I would even go as far to say, trying to accept people before understanding. To be completely honest, we aren't always going to be able to understand someone's position. Maybe because we don't have their background. We completely and utterly disagree with their belief. Or we have never had an experience that they have had. But one thing we can always do is accept people for who they are. Acceptance doesn't mean letting people be mean to you or break boundaries. Acceptance means to let the person have their own individual experience and opinions. By doing this, you are giving yourself room to be who you are, because sometimes empathy, acceptance, and understanding are some of the hardest things you can do. And by doing them, you are giving space in the world for not only yourself and your community, but also diversity.
Hi, I'm Lawrence Scow. I go to Kell High School, and I'm another member of the senior youth here, and I'll be continuing our message. Ever since people developed civilizations, they began to fight. All of these conflicts have proven to be negative for both parties. In conflict, even though there's a winner and a loser, the winner is still worse off than if they had never fought. These conflicts, however, are not always ones of war. Ideological conflicts have become prevalent in the modern world, and the division they cause can be just as detrimental as physical wars. When I took psychology, I began to wonder how such massive differences can even occur, because I learned that all people want essentially the same 4 things. Maslow's hierarchy of needs displays a list of the basic human necessities and wants that are the driving factors of the decisions that people make. This hierarchy is as follows: physiological needs like food and water, then safety needs or the need for stability and protection, love and belonging needs like the need for affection and social interaction, and esteem needs such as validation and respect. These 4 categories encompass the driving motives for everyone's decisions and priorities. If we all have the same needs, then why does the world seem so incredibly divided about what it wants? I believe that most major divides are caused not by radical differences between people's beliefs, but rather by disagreements and arguments themselves. It's been demonstrated that when a person argues about something, they become significantly more entrenched in their own beliefs. A peer-reviewed study by the American Psychology Association says that multiple experiments confirmed that statements and facts that are incompatible with someone's prior beliefs are scrutinized longer and judged as weaker than statements and facts that already align with prior beliefs. This is because, after an argument, you're no longer just defending your idea, but also your reputation and your ego. This has caused a cycle of attrition that has only gotten worse with the addition of the internet, because now every side has evidence as well as other people who assure them that they are right. However, if you start by finding agreement, you can turn arguments into discussions and slowly bridge this divide in beliefs by reinforcing the similarities you have between one another. You're much more likely to avoid disagreement and find common ground with others if you have empathy for them. One core UU belief that can help us facilitate this is the idea that people are not inherently evil. By assuming people have good intentions, you can find empathy for those who you don't see eye to eye with. This is how we can build relationships with people who we don't agree with. Not only can empathy build a stronger relationship, but it can give you insight into the unique perspective of people whose opinion you would otherwise disregard. Discussions with people is a way to get out of the safe bubble of agreement and hear things you may not have considered. Open communication is the best way to bring people closer together, and this is part of what makes us human. Other animals can't communicate their intentions and ideas very efficiently, and most species are forced to find safety in small tribes they can trust. Humans have been gifted with the power to communicate, and it is the key to how we work together. So use your ability to communicate with people whenever you can. Use it to make friends, use it to change minds, and most importantly, use it to connect our world and not to tear it apart.
Hello, my name's Adrian Tice. I'm a senior about to graduate from Pope High School, and I am going to be wrapping up our message today. As I'm sure you're aware of, there are a lot of people out there. A lot of people. I mean, look around. There's a lot of people right here. No matter how much I think about it, it still blows me away. When you drove here today, think of how many cars you passed. Each one had a person in it, maybe more. Living lives as complex and valuable as your own. It is impossible to meet them all in one short life, whether you'd be willing to try or not. I think about this often, and I bet you think about it occasionally as well. I've recently considered, mostly jokingly, but a little bit in seriousness, to embark on a project to record every person I've known and every person I know and will have ever known in the past in a complete list. Now, this is a daunting task, and I'm still figuring out what the best way to approach this would be. Not only that, but compiling such a list would give my memory the test of a lifetime. And don't get me started on deciding organizational strategies. But say, hypothetically, I was able to magically make this list appear. What a powerful tool that would be for self-reflection. To have the names of all the people who have shaped my past 17 years of life at my fingertips. It could open up a window of not only who I've known, but how I've lived, how I've learned, and who I am. Imagine if everyone had their own list, and we could connect all our lists into a global master key of who knows who. That would be pretty crazy. That might be getting a little ambitious. Honestly, it's dizzying for me to think about. But who we know is important, because the people around us can change who we are. We can only gain so much perspective on our own. And we need each other to survive. That's why we form communities, like our very own Emerson. We find like-mindedness in communities. And as we grow closer to those around us, we become stronger, healthier, and happier individuals than ever before. And our list of connections grows. But of all the people on your list, there's one person you know better than anyone else. You. You're the only one who gets the honor of being you. And since no one else can be you, you can be the you want to be. You may worry sometimes. What will others think? This worry can hold us back, make us hesitate. What if they view you differently than you view yourself? They very well could. I lost my place. Oh, they very well could. Yes. But as long as you are being you, for your own sake, their judgments of you don't matter. You're not being you for them. You're being you for you. And as Emerson's Richard Croker says, what you think of me is none of my business. Your own originality is key. Without it, who would you be? Now, thinking about my own originality leads me to reflect. I'm wrapping up my high school years, and I'm in the midst of my transition to adulthood, a time where your identity is in the thick of development. Over the past 4 years, I've made so many valuable, positive connections with other people, and they've taught me so much about myself. But of course, not all of these interactions I would consider went as well as I thought they would have. With so many different people that have each been shaped in their own unique way, there have always been and will always be viewpoints you don't agree with. There will be those times when a difference will lead to a conflict. I've definitely thought about those things like, how could she say that to another person? Or how could he not realize he's wrong? But when I encounter opposing viewpoints, it can be hard sometimes to find where the other person is coming from. I remember one time when I was getting to know one of my friends better, I noticed he'd occasionally make political comments I didn't agree with. My first reaction was to give him a piece of my mind and let him know that we were in disagreement. But I realized his opinion on a recent government policy is not relevant to us hanging out and being social. And for reference, this was on a 12-day backpacking trip in the wilderness of New Mexico. Only way out was by helicopter, so we were stuck together. But we both have the same goal here. It's to be friends. So I took it upon myself to let it go and enjoy the time we spent hanging out. It can be tempting to argue your logic against theirs, but consider an emotional perspective rather than a logical one. We all act in the way we do based on who we are as a person. And even if we're all different, we're all the same as well. We're all on our own paths through life, looking for love and acceptance, using our experiences to drive us to find purpose, worth, and identity. This can unify us when we feel divided. And by being able to see that in another person, shines an entirely different light on the situation. No matter who you are, no matter where you're from, we're all in this world together. So let's make it one we can share.
Our closing hymn is Draw the Circle Wide. Number...
It is not in the hymnal. You'll have to rely
on the screens. All right, let's catch us up here. So go ahead and rise as you are willing and able in body or spirit, and we will sing.
As our chalice is extinguished this morning, we extinguish this chalice, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts and out into the world until we are together again.
Good morning. My name is Michael Lukens, and I lead the youth program here, all the craziness that goes on. A couple of announcements before we finish. I want to say a thank you again to the senior class and the senior class teachers, Angelica, Richard, Alex, and Noel. Thank you so much for all the work that you did with these young people to put this together. A huge thank you to Keith for coming yesterday and putting up with all of our craziness. Thank you, Keith. We appreciate you. All right. I was asked to remind you that next week is Founders Day celebration and the big picture. So everybody needs to be here for the picture. Make yourself beautiful if you want. If you don't, that's okay too. We'll take you that way. And also, there will not be a separate RE time for food next week. This week, yes, but not next week. Okay? All right. As our service ends, go now in peace and take peace wherever you go. Oh, and don't forget the seniors are leading reflections after fellowship time, so come talk to them.
Thank you.
So kind, sir.